So this one's for you, Scorpio. Hi, this is Tarot Lumination with your general report for September 2017 for you, Scorpio. So here we are. Thank you for visiting. Thank you for choosing Tarot Lumination. Cards were already pre-shuffled. We're going to go up to the last second, and then we're going to do your reading. No reversals, no flyers, no jumpers, no oracles. We're just going to keep it stripped down, minimalistic, bare bones, tarot Lumination style. Okay, that's it. Before we get into it, just wanted to remind you of this. We did some little reports earlier with the Leo North Node mini playlist about the new moon eclipse. But please understand, this is actually playing out right now, and this is going to actually start to play out through September, October, November, and beyond. September is really where the energy starts to move. August is where everything was changing, but now things are in motion. And for you, Scorpio, a lot of that energy, you might feel it up here in your 10th house, even though the sun is in Virgo right now, which would be over here. Okay, so in your 10th house, you know, buzzwords like your place in the world, your career, your ambitions, your place of highest visibility, mission, purpose, goals, duties, responsibilities, especially things like leadership, management, public office, where people are looking at you, people are counting on you to be able to do what has to be done, to lead effectively, to manage, to get things done. So you might be feeling an awful lot of like strange things going on, like, because see, Scorpios, typically you're very private, and so like it's almost like being called to be out there, very public, almost like a Leo person in public. That might feel very strange for you, and yet that's what you're being called to do, and in so doing, leaving behind perhaps some redundant ways of being in the foundations of your life. Okay, and what can you say? That's just kind of how it is. We're all on the same bus. We're all evolving in the Leo North Node journey, wherever it is. But for you, Scorpio, it's right up there at the pinnacle of your being. All right, let's get into it. This is not an astrology report, okay? So you know the routine. Read for your sun, moon, and rising. I would also encourage you, if you haven't watched them, to watch the big playlist for Leo North Node, and also the Leo new moon eclipse that just happened. There's two separate playlists that might help you, okay? And then squish all the reports together into one thing and write your own story, okay? So, okay, we did that. We're doing this, and now we're going to cut. All right, we're going to split it up big time. Then we'll do your reading. Now, I like to think this is a journey spread where there is a sensation of time, where there is what we call past, present, and future. It's actually a one big continuum, but we live in it in what we call the experience of time. So in that context, this would be the core vibe energy, like at your heart at the moment, through September. Coming into September and through September. This is where you're coming from. This is like legacy energy that you're carrying with you, perhaps from the past, or your South Node energy, or something like that. Perhaps from the last few months, perhaps from years. This is the ever-present now, which of course is always happening. We're always in the now as time moves on. Whether we are focused on the past, whether we are focused on the future, we are actually in the now. So that's that kind of energy. This is the actual energy of moving forward once we realize and accept that we are on a journey, okay? And we know that when we set out on a journey, no matter how routine, ordinary, or preordained, no matter how organized your life, we are always still facing into the unknown. We're facing risk. Where there is risk, there is reward, but there's also potential danger. And we hope to mitigate that risk simply by being who we are and trusting our senses, trusting our wisdom, trusting in divine guidance that everything's going to be okay. But there's still the element of fear, like what if it doesn't? So how do we move forward effectively? That would be this card here. It's just maybe like an advice card, okay? And if you subscribe to the ideas of like how, you know, with the laws of attraction, basically the laws of physics in the universe, you can create your own reality, so to speak. simply as an output of millions of decisions, then this would be that kind of card. In other words, you're getting exactly what you deserve here. If you feel differently about what we just said, then this might feel like energy that's coming at you. It might feel like fated energy, or like it's just coming at you from the great beyond, from way, way, way over here into your life. Either way, it's there. Okay? Now, over here, this is like, you know, the energy that you carry with you when you are on a journey, especially on a new journey where you've never gone before, no matter how much, you know, you've learned or studied with your GPS system and your atlases and maps and homework and research, there's always a risk of like, what if it goes wrong? Or the reward of like, oh my God, what if this works? Yes. Okay. So that's in this kind of card here. And this is more like the momentum of where we're coming out, you know, out towards the end of September, if you think of this as a journey in time. So I like to think of it as a journey from the heart, okay, from the pit of your heart, because, yeah, even though you might be living through your experiences through the mind and through the body and through your logic and intellect, what you hear and what you smell and what you say and like your perceptions of the universe coming at you, it all happens still through the heart, because without the heart there's nothing. Okay, so I hope you can see that little heart spread here. It sort of looks like a heart, but, and I'm trying my best for you. Okay, we'll see. Anyway, let's see how this plays out. So we'll look at let's look at the bottom card first, because I think of that as the weather. This is like energy that permeates the whole thing, and hopefully you make the best of it. If it's bad weather, you make the best of it. It's good weather, you make the best of it. And you have the 10 of Wands. Okay, so it's an indication that you might be up to your neck in it right now, Scorpio, and it might be a good idea to realize that and accept that, in that you might be still very deeply wedded to some of your what could be called burdens. Some of us truly love our burdens. We love our woe is me. We love our misery. We love our tragedies. We love our sorrow, because sometimes, especially for people who have endured tremendous what is that? Tremendous grief, sorrow, abuse, tragedy, suffering, loss, it creates such an impact, such an impression, like an indentation, like a brand, like a stamp on your life, that it's almost like you don't know anything else. So you become identified with your burdens. But your burdens are not you. Your burdens are burdens. You have a core heart soul energy which is pure. It's made out of pure love. And those burdens don't own you unless you let them, okay? So with the 10 of Wands there, it's an indication, the weather is hinting at you that you might be, you know, let's just say overburdened with your burdens right now, and you're almost letting that happen. And the weather is just saying that perhaps it doesn't have to be that way if you don't want to. So it might feel like you're going through some very oppressive, challenging situations if you let it get to you. All right, let's have a look at the core. What have we got? Okay, mastery. Let's call this mastery. Let's just say at the core, Scorpio, what you desire is mastery. What you are seeking and where you intend to go and where you know you are guided, where you know you are protected. It is all true and it is all just and it is supposed to be, and that you are almost being called upon to be this character, the King of Swords, where the ultimate arbiter of truth, someone who really, really, really knows the truth, not in some kind of wishy-washy way or like an impression or an opinion. It's fact, factual knowledge, extreme high value knowledge, wisdom, truth, and your energy would be like being called to be that person, to be the arbiter of truth, to be the carrier of truth, and to defend and protect the truth to the end. Okay? So in some ways, that's a tough challenge. I'm not saying this is a challenge card, but it's at the very core of the heart reading here. And in some ways, it's asking you to be like brutally true and honest with yourself, but also in so doing, because of this, let me go back to this again. Because of this, it's almost like you're being called out to be the King of Swords here on a stage, not just for yourself, but in other words, having to walk your talk. In other words, if people truly are going to respect you and honor you, you have to honor and respect yourself true as well to the maximum levels, and be an arbiter and a representative of the truth, where people know that they can trust you, that they can honor you because you honor yourself, you honor the truth, you speak the truth, you live the truth, okay? And you defend and protect the truth for others who cannot do so themselves, okay? So that could be the greatest value of what's going on here as you transform and move over here into your natural state of evolution that's happening, where it's almost like you're on a stage and being perceived as the King of Swords. Now, for a Scorpio, who typically likes to be behind the scenes, this could be a very, very daunting energy. In other words, oh my gosh, is this for real? Am I actually being called out to be this, to live this? Apparently so. Let's have a look. What are you carrying with you? Okay. Well, at least you're aware. Okay, you are aware of what's going on here. You've got the Seven of Pentacles, Seven of Discs. It's an indication that deep down, you know exactly what is going on, Scorpio. You're very aware of it. You know it's a deeply transformative time for you. You're going through your own version of evolution, just like everyone else. And it seems that you already have started doing a lot of homework on yourself. You're very, very aware and you have to do a lot of pruning, chucking, and weeding, and clearing out all the bramble and the obstructions and the overgrown vines that are taking over and covering up the things of true value here. All these resources here of true value. And those are the resources that lie inside of you, okay, but also in the world around you. It's coming to understand the truth of the value of these resources here. And it is, you are realizing now, Scorpio, it is your job, and you have been conducting yourself this way as if it is your job, living accordingly, according to the word. And you're doing the homework on yourself. You are doing a lot of self-cleaning, a lot of self-healing, a lot of self-purification. And in doing so, you are exposing the value as you go along. So it's arduous work, and it can feel frustrating because it's not the time to reap the rewards. It's just doing huge amounts of homework to prepare the soil, so to speak, to nurture the land and to fertilize the resources and keep them nurtured with the right ingredients, the watering, the fuel, whatever it is that you have to input with who you are and what you're doing right now in order for things to blossom and grow without being obscured by the weeds, so to speak. So it's tough work. It's tough work, and you've been doing it, so this is very noble. I have to respect you, Scorpio. Let's have a look where we are now. You're coming in with this. This is very strong, but it's almost like I just feel like it's a tremendous amount of work and it's ongoing, okay? So, with the wow, okay, with the King of Pentacles here, look at this. Wow. It's somehow or other, Scorpio, deep down, you know what's going on. You know it's almost like you're being called out to live this and be this, and all eyes are going to be on you. You're doing a lot of homework and prepping to get yourself up to that status, up to that position, because somehow or other, deep down, you know that this is how it's going to be. And with the King of Pentacles here, it's like becoming a master of the physical realm and doing that in a very, very noble, honorable, respectful, respectable, dignified, purposeful, meaningful way. It's not about self-aggrandizement at all. This is not about you strutting your stuff, being the king of money and Midas and all that. It is definitely kind of, some people call it the Midas touch, where everything you touch turns to gold. But it's with a purpose, which with a very, very profound purpose that has to align with the King of Swords energy. These are two very strong masculine energies here that seem to be deeply bedded into your reading right now, Scorpio, and it's becoming evident, and it could be evident that other people are now perceiving you as this, which is another bit of a challenge for Scorpios, because again, that puts you in a spotlight, which may not be your most comfortable posture. So in other words, not only are people starting to look at me, Scorpio, saying, oh God, I'm Scorpio, like what is happening? I have to do this, I have to be this, I have to live the King of Swords. And not only that, doing all this homework and prepping and stuff, now I'm being called to do it in a way that has meaning and purpose in very tangible physical ways that have amazing value. When is it going to stop? It's almost like, even though this looks awesome in terms of cards and such, it can also indicate that, you know, look at it this way. Scorpio, you are being asked and you are actually doing it. You are in the process of living it out. But these are very heavy crowns. These are very heavy robes. This is a very heavy sword. These pentacles here, the King of Pentacles, it's like this is one gold bar that's worth millions of these. And you have just one of those in your hand, but your whole kingdom, your whole world is built on value, great value. And now it's being exposed, and it is in some ways a burden. And so you might be feeling the pressure right now coming into September. Like, even though this might be everything that you've wished for, like deep down you might have been praying that you could rise up to your ultimate way of being, to be that ultimate Scorpio shining and radiating up here in your full glory, so to speak, being appreciated, living the word accordingly, and being appreciated and valued, and appreciating and value others to the point where you are recognized and honored this way. You are recognized and honored this way. The downside is that it's a tremendous responsibility. It's a tremendous burden in its own right to be a leader of this caliber. It's just, it's almost like it's double duty. So I don't know if there's probably some mystical, amazing like sayings to go with this, or like some amazing bumper sticker type things to go with this, but I can't think of them right now. All I'm feeling right now, Scorpio, is that you're doing what you got to do. You're evolving. It's just that you're in the spotlight and there's kind of no way out of it. And you're living it, but it's kind of an, oh my gosh, energy. My gosh, seriously, I had no idea. It's sometimes it's wonderful and so much fun to live a life without responsibilities, like to be a Peter Pan person and just everything is floating around and having fun, and then having to suddenly do something very mature and adult and responsible like this, where it's a presidential role. It's very regal, and it involves tremendous, let's just say, humility. Because to carry that much energy in a responsible way for the public, for the people, requires tremendous honesty and truth, tremendous integrity. And it's very, very hard to maintain those energies all the time. It's tough. It's tough work, Scorpio. But this is what's going on. So how are you going to move forward with all of that? Okay. So you might feel very isolated and alone. The reason I'm saying that is that, when you're at this level of stature, it's like being right up here at the very, very pinnacle, so to speak. If you think of your chart, where this is the 10th house of public office, it's a very, very, very lonely place. Imagine being the president of something very big, or the president of the United States, for example, or a country or a kingdom or whatever, or a corporation, or your life, your world, or your domain, so to speak. And you realize that being at the very, very top, even though you might have a wonderful, let's say, a population, and they love you and you love them, just by virtue of your position at the very top, it's extremely lonely. Like, where can you go? Who can you hang out with? Sure, you might have a team of advisors, your friends and family, but it's still you alone making the final call, the final decisions. And that can be very daunting. It could almost lead to a sensation of like, why is this happening to me? Why am I so alone? Why do I have to be so alone? There's no way out of it. So perhaps accepting the solitude of leadership, the extremely rarefied atmosphere of high office, so to speak. Yes. So in the heart and soul of your being, it might be an understanding that in order to proceed in a healthy way, where you can conduct yourself very honorably at this level, it does mean that you're going to have to be, let's say, learn how to be very, very comfortable with being very uncomfortable. I know that's a popular catchphrase right now, but that's what I'm feeling here, because that's the only way this can happen, is where you willingly wear the crown and the robes and you accept the isolation and the solitude, and you hope that you might have one or two dear ones, loved ones, who are there for you at the deepest, most heart energy, which might not be anything to do with any of this at all, who are there for you as the person, so that it's flooded with love, so that, like, at the end of the day, like if you're doing your duty during the daytime, when you come and chill out at home at night and you're feeling an awful lot of this solitude perhaps, it won't feel so bad, but you are aware that you are in this position. So it's good to be aware of this. Otherwise, you could be, like, say, destabilized if you try to fight this, if you try to fight the hermit energy and pretend that, oh, it's just a big party, it's just a big club, because with the South Node energy over here, you might have been very happy immersing yourself into the wider community where you didn't really stand out in any way, because you knew very, very well that if you did wear the crown and the robes, things would change dramatically, where all of a sudden your ability to be one of the crowd changes to being on the stage, on the throne, in the limelight, in the public eye, 24/7. That's very, very daunting. And so this is understandable, but at least you're aware of it. That's very, very good to be aware of it, because deep down you must have known already. How are you going to handle it moving forward? You're going to get yourself one of these, Taurus. This is Taurus. I'm sorry I got all excited when I saw this card. Scorpio, you're going to get yourself one of these. You're going to live as if you've got one of these, okay? You're going to allow your creativity, your wealth, and your own internal abundance to flow. And you're going to live as if. You're going to live as if, even in your solitude, even in this position of high office, you've got this, okay? You've got this at your back. You've got this behind you. It's like, it's the energy of wealth, nurture, abundance, the ability to manifest, to do things. It's raw nature. It's the energy of earth. It's the raw material energy of earth. We're not talking about space and concepts here. We're not talking about banking and money over here. We're talking about nature. Now, the Empress could represent a person in your life here who is there for you and who is willing to be there for you in your solitude, as a mate in your solitude. But it's also an indication that you have to be a very, very good mate to yourself as well, Scorpio. You have to be willing to, let's just say, allow all this wealth and all this abundance to manifest accordingly, because you've got it and you own it, and it's your duty to share that now. Like, if you've been hoarding it here secretly and privately, or not understanding how to share this or bring it out with the world, you are now being called out, being viewed and perceived as this kind of person here, and knowing that you have so much to offer, okay? And it's truly abundant and truly beautiful. It's almost like the more you give, the more you have to give. The Empress is almost like has an infinite supply of abundance and wealth at her disposal. It's extreme hyper feminine energy, which is a nice healthy contrast to this hyper masculine energy here. And it's very, very comforting to have her energy with you here in your solitude. So you could be very, very well matched here. And so I'm very happy for you, Scorpio, that you got this little card here in this position, because it's almost guaranteed to bring you a sense of being anchored and guided and protected, loved and nurtured. And of course, you have to do that to yourself as well. So where does that take you? Okay. Look at, man, Scorpio, you got some power cards here. You got some big cards here. Okay, so you might feel as though, especially with these King's energies, that things are happening in a way that's almost too much, too big, that it feels like fate. Okay, like, oh my gosh, like I kind of was hoping something like this would happen, but now it's happening. I'm not sure if I really want it, because look what's going to happen. I'm going to end up feeling very isolated and alone. And luckily, you've got the Empress at your back, Scorpio. And here's what's happening, okay? So what you have attracted to you through the laws of attraction, through simple physics, simply on the understanding that everything is exactly as it should be, because it can't be any other way, that you have attracted exactly what you deserve, and it is truly just. In other words, the abundance, the stature, the honor, the dignity, the truth, the respect of others, and having to walk the talk, everything that goes with this level of leadership and monarchy, you're getting it. It's what you deserve. In other words, you might as well find a way to enjoy it. It's perfectly, absolutely balanced out the way it should be, including this. In other words, if you've been deeply yearning for this and you knew about this, and it's coming into your life now in a way that is appropriate and well balanced, then that too is justly deserved. Okay, Scorpio? Because you might have been, let's just say, lost in the weeds for a long time, which would have been represented down here, like swirling around in what might have been a very well-intended humanitarian kind of way, where you're giving it all away for the sake of home and family, but leaving nothing for yourself. Things are turning around where you do deserve to be all of this. You know it's work, you're handling it. You know what's going to happen when you move into a position of high office in your domain, your life, your world. But you've got the Empress with you, so don't worry. And it's going to be working out just fine. And if this feels like it's just almost overwhelming, it's almost like fate. Fate is intervening here, and it's on your behalf. It is for your good. In other words, it's absolutely perfectly balanced, even though there might be tremendous stresses and burdens with having to hold this much honor and dignity and stature in a public eye. It's extremely well balanced by this sense of very strong foundation and nurture and abundance that's there for you. And it's what you deserve. It's what you deserve, Scorpio. It's almost like this combined King energy deserves this beautiful mate. Okay? It's just beautiful. It's almost like a king and queen. The Empress is not a queen. She's a bigger deal than a queen. She's a freaking empress, okay? So I'm kind of jealous of you, Scorpio. Let's have a look. What were you hoping for? What you were scared of? Like, oh my God. Oh gosh, Scorpio, I'm a little bit shaky about this reading for you guys. It's a really powerful reading. What it's indicating to me here to tell you is that secretly, deep down, you were hoping you were going to come into your power, that you were going to have the ability to manifest your true value, your true beliefs, live out your true stature, your true dignity. You're hoping for that, you're wishing for that, and that you are going to be able to carry that much power with honor and dignity without abusing that power. It's a tremendous amount of power now that is coming your way, Scorpio. And by the way, so that you know, around the end of this year, 2017, Jupiter is moving into Scorpio. So you might really be starting to feel it, especially towards the end of this year. And also when Saturn moves into Capricorn right at the end of the year, that's very supportive energy for you. So you might be doing some serious like gulp, like, oh my gosh, what's actually happening here? Because this is a big reading for you, Scorpio. It's an indication that you would be absolutely terrified if you didn't come into this power that you deserve and be, because it means you would have screwed up somewhere badly. This is also, you know, when it's nice to hope that you come to this level of power and you be able to exercise all that power with authority and dignity and respect. That's pretty cool, you know. Whew. Wow. it is justly deserved. It's just that you're being called upon to carry and exercise tremendous power, and with tremendous power comes tremendous responsibility. So going back to this, okay, don't let it get to you. Wear the crown with joy, knowing that it is justly deserved and you are justly supported with a very, very supportive energy, perhaps a mate, a good mate for you. Where does this take us? Okay, let's have a look. Whoa. Queen of Swords energy up here. It's like, the way I'm feeling it is that it means, some people call this the divorce card. You know, I'm trying to keep it a very broad reading as opposed to a relationship reading or reading the cards by the book. So what I'm feeling for you here, Scorpio, is that as September moves on and you start to really soak in the energy of what this reading is saying, and you really get an awareness that, oh my gosh, I really am coming into my power, it's going to be on the understanding that it's very, very public, okay? There's a deep level of scrutiny going on here where you, let's put these two together, the King and the Queen of Swords, extremely evenly well matched, in such a way that as a carrier of the truth, a representative of the truth in the highest office, an authority, an arbiter, you will have a mate at your side, an equal mate at your side, who also has an extremely powerful and effective, I'm scared to use certain language on this channel now, but I'm going to say it quietly, meter, a BS meter, and it could relate very closely to the supporting energy here about how you're going to conduct yourself. In other words, by aligning yourself very, very closely with someone who's very much an equal, someone who's very much on your wavelength, and making the most of it together, harmoniously, like this, in such a way that it's like a joint effort, so to speak. So you're not always on your own all the time. Yes, it is a very lonely office, but you are not absolutely alone. You are deeply supported, and everything is just exactly as it should be. And you will be called upon to answer to your own words, so to speak, living the truth, so to speak. And you will be called out, if necessary, by your people, by your dominion, by your world, your people around you, because they're not going to put up with any BS from you, because you are the arbiter. And so it's a very powerful indication that as you rise up into this stature where you are under a spotlight, so to speak, there's a lot of energy of like, be careful of what you say, how you say it, when you say it, where you say it, who you say it to, and who, what, when, why, where, how. I think we covered all of that, right? So just, it's all about honoring and living the word, Scorpio, understanding that we create our life a lot of times through words, our thoughts, and our deeds and our actions. Whew. No BS, Scorpio. You're being, let's say, you're being called out to live the truth and walk the talk like never before. But you can handle it. Okay, Scorpio? I've said enough. You can reinterpret this however you like. Please read this from the heart. Please treat it as strong heart energy. Okay, there it is. Okay, that's for you. This is a Tarot Lumination gift for you, Scorpio, okay? I hope you can make sense of this. Watch for your sun, moon, and rising, of course. Thank you so much. Have an awesome September. Bye-bye.